So, welcome to the Quantum Healer. I'm your host, Dr. Tracey Allshafer, and I have a very special guest today, Mary Tobin. I can't remember when I met Mary, but I'm going to say at least 7 years ago, or somewhere around that time frame.
That sounds about right. Yeah, 2018 maybe?
Okay, yeah, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I, at that time, had a yoga studio in Hightstown. And I had Mary, she reached out to me, but I had her come in and share this gift that she has of channeling Mary Magdalene and offering these channeled sessions as healings for people. And so in the process since then, you have started to do a whole priestess training for Mary Magdalene and her teachings. So
Yes.
a lot has happened since then.
Yes, yes. That was just the very beginning. I'd been a channel for Mary Magdalene for a few years, when I contacted you. But she had asked me to, first of all, channel some of her teachings through a book. And then she asked me to begin to teach on these teachings and to help priests and priestesses, really, those of the Magdalene consciousness, to wake up and to help in healing the earth, heal within themselves, and step into their truth and who they are.
Yeah.
So I just started to, I was guided to certain areas to go to. She would tell me where to go. Some was not always in New Jersey, but in the beginning it was. And women would gather. They would just know, women and men. The call would go out, and it was resonated with certain people at certain times. So it's been a journey since then. That was all the beginning, and now I do these trainings regularly and travel all over the United States, and we're about to go to France with a group.
That's really exciting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we continue to do other, when I say we, the Magdalene, she refers to herself as the Magdalene. We continue to do online, she's just, she's where she is. I'm online. Zoom calls and also in-person teachings that also involve healing the inner child, awakening the inner child of light.
When did she first come to you? How did that first happen? Can you share that?
Yeah, well, I had already been working as a healer for, since the mid-90s, I was working as a healer, but in early 2000s, and I became clairaudient maybe like in 2005 maybe or so. I started receiving messages from my guides, full conversations with them, and I began to work with the Order of Melchizedek, which is an ancient order of ascended masters, and then they began to bring in different aspects of the Divine Mother, the goddess energies of Isis and Hathor and Brigid, the Celtic Brigid, Aphrodite. And after a period of time, it was 2013 that they said to me, the Notre Dame one is coming now, and she will teach you. She's coming. And I always thought of Notre Dame as the Blessed Mother. Growing up Catholic, I knew that's what I thought. But she came to me one morning in 2013. She spoke to me and asked me to be a vehicle for her, to be a voice for her. And she said, my name has been torn asunder, and people need to know who I am, and my purpose for being here now. And she said, we will work together, we will teach. So after that, it was the Magdalene. I still work with many other aspects of the Divine Mother, but she's the main one, and that's the primary work. It's been a journey of faith, of leaps of faith, and trust in self, and trusting and believing in your own worth, and that's been that journey.
Yeah.
Earlier, you were talking about what do you do, and what they tell me every day. It just came to me. They speak about holding space, but they say you bring hope. Oh. You bring hope. You're the bringer of hope.
The bringer of hope.
And I sit with that. I think, what? I bring hope, And but they tell me every day. It's a huge, I sit and contemplate it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What is hope?
What is hope?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that we're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was researching, I realized how many believed that Mary Magdalene was this lesser person. I just didn't really think about Mary Magdalene, so I did not have a strong opinion of who she was. But to me, she really wasn't an important. I knew she arrived at the cave when Jesus was resurrected and all of that. But I didn't think of her as that important. Yeah, so many people talk about the prostitute aspect of it, and she speaks to me about it often,
Mm-hmm.
about the feminine being made submissive to and less than, and she talks to me about how difficult it was in her lifetime, even that she was not seen or heard.
So there has been this
yeah,
miscommunication about
Mm-hmm.
who she is or what she was, and even the role she played with Christ in in teachings and healings and ministry, right?
Yeah. She certainly wasn't. I was never taught that she was, even as a disciple of Jesus, like of the writer of the Gospels. Like we were never told that she wrote at all, that she was even able to write,
Mm-hmm.
and certainly not a teacher herself, and all of that is not true. It's not true. We know now there's been Gospels that have been found.
We found
they
them.
even speculate. They still question whether she actually wrote them. Of course she wrote them, the ones that we're finding, and there's more. She tells me there's more. There's more to be found that she wrote.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It's
yeah.
really interesting because I'm about to go to Egypt, and there's that Isis priestess connection, and so I'm wondering what I'll feel into when I'm there with that.
Yeah, she talks to me about daughters of Isis and the temples that she studied in, and many of us were with her. We're with her in those teachings. She taught based on those teachings as a daughter of Isis, a priestess of Isis.
Mm-hmm.
That is so much part of the Magdalene lineage. That is the Magdalene lineage.
Wow.
So I'm sure you're going to have some memories. Okay.
Let's talk about the book, because I read the Magdalene. And her book is The Magdalene Temple of the Divine Feminine, and you wrote that it's a complete channeled work from the Magdalene.
Yeah. I mean, I have a little introduction and a little piece at the end, but she said to me, we're going to write the book, and when I channel, I become a full channel. I speak, and she speaks through me. But when she told me I'm going to write, I was not sure how that was going to happen. But she came to me one morning and just said, okay, we'll begin. And then I kept hearing the opening line over and over. And not line, but she kept saying, Qumran, 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 Qumran. She actually said it more like Qumran, Qumran. And then my early childhood years. And then she said, we begin. So I sat down and began to type on my computer, my laptop, and I somehow I knew the story. It was the most surreal experience because I knew it. It wasn't like she was saying it and I was typing. I knew it, but I could also hear her voice. I felt the Magdalenes around me. So I just feel this whole community of light beings around even now, as I'm sitting here.
Yeah. The Magdalenes are a community of priestesses, or what is? Okay.
It's more than a community of priestesses. It's a lineage. She speaks of the Magdalene, the term the Magdalene. It's a title, that she calls it a title, but it's also it's an energetic structure of light that holds the Divine Mother energies.
Okay.
So those of us. So she speaks about her mother and her grandmother being Magdalenes, but we have incarnated through eons of time. And then it's also connected to the Blue Rose, the lineage of the Blue Rose. It's all, to me, it's overlapping. The Magdalene is a structure of light, and then there's the lineage of those of us who carry this divine feminine energies. We bring in the heart energies to the earth, and that's why we're so present. But the Magdalenes carried this Divine Mother energies, and were teachers. Some of them were priestesses daughters of Isis. There's an overlap there as well.
Okay.
So so they were around me, and they asked, the Blessed Mother asked me to go to Slovakia to receive. I received like three initiations. They asked me to travel to 3 places, and I received from each of them initiations. And my husband went with me and said, I don't know what's happening. Where are we going? I'm not sending you to Slovakia alone. I'll go with you. And then I came home, and then I waited for about, I don't know how many months. I was like, I'm crazy. I just traveled all over. I don't even know why or what happened. But then all of this happened, and she asked me to start writing. So, yeah. So
Interesting.
It's, and I am, for that reason, when I was talking about the writings, I got it self-published, and I sent it out. She told me they will know, they need to receive it. They're waiting for the book. They're waiting for the story. There's the story, but then there's the coding in the story, and it's for those of us. It will resonate with your heart. You'll feel heart palpitations. You'll feel, I don't know what you experience. You'll have dreams. You'll have, she comes into to me as an indigo blue light, so you might experience the light. But
I think that was one of the things that happened for me, was the indigo light that started to come. That might have been one of the first things. Even when I'm doing healing sessions on people, there are times where that comes in a lot. Not all the time, but yeah.
That's her presence, you know. And I mean, it's a obviously it's wisdom, and it's all the higher states of consciousness. But it's also her. When she calls to you, and she's coming, and then she's present always from that time on, because you've already agreed to have allow her to help to guide you. So yeah. So when she told me they're waiting for this, those who are drawn to receive the book, receive the teachings, are really just waking up the light codes, the blue rose, the Magdalene codes within them. They already are. But it's just like a Reiki attunement, you know, just waking up. And and people have written to me or you know, reached out to me in different ways and talked to me about what woke up for them, or they felt her presence, or they received communications. Yeah.
I'm feeling some parallels with the work I do with another woman. It's not anything related, but there are just some energetic parallels that I'm feeling as you're talking. We can talk about that more later, because I really want to focus on you and this work right now. But
I think there's we call the Order of the Blue Rose, and there's just so much overlap with other, you know, it's called other things, and everyone, so many of us are doing this work. But it's
and the grid work. I feel like when you and I first connected, you were trying to do something with grid work around Heightstown.
Yeah, when I reached out to you, that was one of the first, but one of the first I did.
And like Heightstown.
I had to look it up on a map, because I'm also not from New Jersey. I was like, saying to my husband, I'm like, where's Heightstown? But she, you know, and people have said to me, oh, why don't you do one of your weekends here? And they'll tell me this beautiful, not that Heightstown's not beautiful, but like these getaway places to go. I'm like, no, she doesn't send us there. She sends us where the work needs to be done, because part of the work is also clearing old darkness, clearing old darkness, blocking in the grid system. And you know, just as there are sacred sites with beautiful light, and there's vortexes of darkness and timeline patterns that remain, layers of them. So she tells me where to go. So I just looked online. I said, where? I need a space to use. I thought maybe a yoga space. So I reached out, and my eyes kept going to your website. And I just called you. I thought, okay, here's another one of those moments where this lady's going to think, who is she and what does she want to do? And you knew right away what I was talking about.
Doesn't sound weird to me.
Because you are part of the Magdalene Blue Rose. You know, your work calls you to other cultures, other areas, but
exactly.
Same. Yeah.
But for me, I do attribute some of the things in my healing work to those channeled works that I did with you.
Oh.
Because I do a lot of what I call star language in my healing and also some, symbol work. That sort of stuff started coming into my healing work after those activations. So I do feel like, between the color and then this other stuff, I was Reiki attuned back in the late 90s, I think. And so, like, that sort of energy work I've done for a long time. It's not recent. And yet, even the chakras in my hands, even that didn't feel as strong until, I would say, right around that time frame of those activations. So I do feel like it was a big part in moving my healing to, again, not liking leveling type language, but moving it somewhere deeper.
Yeah. Well, it's the activations, it's the anchoring in of your starlight, of your connection with the stars and the light language, all of it starts to wake up and recognize, be as a light being. So there's so much more that comes through. Well, this is the symbol of Venus. It's the Venus, am I using the right terminology? But so the work that the Magdalene, the lineage of the Blue Rose, is all connected to Venus. It goes beyond Venus, but what they teach me is that there were many temples on Venus, and this is where we learned. There were Isis temples, and we learned our work. We before we came to the earth.
You mean the planet Venus?
The planet Venus.
I thought initially you meant the goddess Venus.
Well, then there's also the goddess Aphrodite is one of the primary teachers in the Order of the Blue Rose. The teacher, her, Aphrodite, Venus, same.
Okay.
And so
we're talking Greek Roman.
Yes, yes. There's so many goddesses, but Aphrodite is the primary teacher in the level 1 of the Order of the Blue Rose. But the connection with Venus. But then they talk about beyond, to the stars, to Sirius, and to beyond, and the blue rose, the blue stars. Like it's very the cosmos. But Venus is very much connected. The heart, the blue rose.
Gotcha.
They had stories about the blue rose growing on Venus. But that's why I brought that today.
Do we feel like a transmission for the audience today, for the viewers, or is it feeling like she wants to say anything or have something come through for everyone?
She's telling me yes. There's something that she'd like to share. I'm not sure what it'll be, but Mary Magdalene would like to share some teachings and a brief transmission for each of you. So she's asking you to sit and get quiet, and allow a gentle movement of the breath as I tune in and allow her to speak through me. I welcome you. You each have been called here to come to know me, to receive me. There is a gateway open upon you at present, so that you each may step forward and begin again, to come to know yourselves and to remember. This day I would aid you each in remembering your truth. Receive me now. I enter as an indigo blue light. I move through you into your heart and into your vein structures. Anchor in. I gather you each to me, so that you may know me and remember. The light of the heavens is upon each of you. It enters through the crown. Allow yourselves to be deeply anchored into the Earth Mother Gaia. As it is she who calls to your heart as well. To remember and to know as you carry within you the light codes. You carry within you the new earth. You carry within you the light of heaven. And she too would aid you in remembering. Feel her now as she pulsates through you. She anchors into the Earth Star, to the base of the spine. I speak now to your heart. Receive me and know, you of the blue line, of the giving ways, of the indigo light. You have been called forth. Be still now and receive the light codes that enter. It is the heart of forgiveness that enters now. A letting go process of all that holds you bound. Daily you reject yourselves. Daily you berate yourselves. Daily you move into a state of unknowing. I would release you now, so that you may forgive yourselves fully and receive the light of the divine from within. You of the true heart, you are known, you are seen, be still now. The heart of unconditional love now enters. I receive you each into my embrace, as you are the living heart. And together we shall walk. We shall implant the earth. Seeds of light, seeds of knowing, seeds of unconditional love shall be planted here through your energetic form of light, as you have well received. I welcome you into the new. All is complete.
Well, thank you, Mary, and also the Magdalene, for that channeled message. The sense I got was, again, it's an invitation for whoever is supposed to awaken and become aligned. Was that your feeling? Just it's an invitation?
It was an invitation. It was a sharing. It was a healing. She spoke to me earlier about forgiveness, that we need to forgive ourselves. But absolutely, it was an invitation.
Go ahead and share whatever contact stuff.
Okay, well, my website is www.bluerosehealing, and on it I have, under recordings, there's the Blue Rose transmission that I spoke about earlier. So if this work resonates with you, that's another level of invitation.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Tracey, for having me. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
this is beautiful.
This is about the quantum healer. So what is everything in the quantum field, and anything that's touched me in some way, for sure. I want to talk to those people.
Thank you.
Thank you.